We actually have spirits for you today. TGs are back at it again, and we have more Magispector too. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more Oz content. Spirit cards. You know, when you have Nikitama, Sakitama, Aratama, you know, well, to be fair, like, the Aratama package we've already seen in every Splash Rank 4 deck that actually wants to come out under the sun, but this deck is doing something a little bit interesting. You see Mr. Gallant Granite here? Well, Gallant Granite has a very unique ability. Search for a level 4, or search for a rock monster. You can actually toggle for the Mono Awato in this deck, and we can actually make a Mono Awato on the opponent. Now, there's also some other little sneaky little things going on in here with the Heartbeast Featherstorm. Remember, if you control a Wing Beast monster, till the end phase, negate any monster effects your opponent activates. Wing Beast. We have conditional cards that we can actually use. Like, I actually kid you not here, everybody. We have Shino Baron access in the Spirit package to be able to Featherstorm our opponent so that they cannot get the chance to play the game. I feel like you're taking all of the semi-broken aspects of the game that need to be played in their respective decks to get the chance to do things. I mean, you have a walking, talking, big old bully here, all right, that literally says no monsters except for, no effects except for effect monsters. And you have free denial over here across the board. You have 5 methods to deny your opponent the chance to play the game. And you also have the Sumiha Kitsunagi here as an immediate backup plan too for some things, plus, you know, all the access down the Shino Baron lines of play. Yeah, this is actually by far one of the probably most unique decks that we've had the chance to see in modern era format. And we're also playing the Valence field spells for some generic fun stuff. Yeah, this is kind of cool. We also have, well, if you thought that this was going to be a cheap budget deck, that's not going to be the case, because you have Mr. Level 1 Fireman here himself, and the deck does need the chance to go down the original Sinful Spoils package, because you do need to see Rocket Salamander. Like, when Konami designed the Diabellstar cards and the new TG stuff, they went, okay, you know, some people out here are going to want to have the chance to play the TG stuff, but $300 later, in a Splash package, you are able to go down this line. And the sad part is, it's not even like a tier 1 deck. It's a little bit more subpar than some of the other stuff that we've had going on, but you're able to do things with it, I guess. I mean, your end board's Calamity access, which is, you know what we're doing here. Every Centurion player out there on alert right now, waiting for this card to get banned on the next list, just looking around going, is it time? Yeah, probably. And then, of course, the Glaive Blaster is the other big synchro. Typically, what, you're probably getting Glaive Blaster / the Crimson Dragon up and running, and then you just Hot Red Dragon Calamity lock them, / rely on Glaive Blaster to try to get you to where you need to be. I feel like the end board for this deck isn't very intimidating, but you have to rely on things like Droll the Ashes. The Two Nibiru is a little bit interesting, but I understand, like, this card's very good against the format, but you also have to rely on things like the Crossout Designators to hammer these cards so you randomly don't lose the game. Like, TG is very fragile, and, like, that's the downside to playing the deck. So you have to rely on cards like this to actually help you out, or you're just going to be in an absolute craptastic position. So, very, very interesting to see. Alright, what else we got going on back here? We have more Magispectors, and let me tell you, I feel like we've been seeing some of the success with this deck. Usman's been trying out a lot of interesting things, especially, I think we've now seen this deck top twice from him, a first place and a top 4, which is pretty good. The ability to use the generic super heavy samurai scales so that you can get immediate access to just start flopping down everything that you need to do here is really good. And I also think one of the most interesting side aspects of this is you have access to the Promethean Princess in the Ambler Whale combo, which is, I think, one of the most generic things that we've seen actually in modern era Yu-Gi-Oh history here. The ability just to deploy this very good card to kind of help you out along your line. And then, of course, Mr. Trigate Wizard itself. The fact that you can set up Trigate here, and then, you know, like Zealantis rearrange to make this a lot easier for the Colink, is pretty stupid. Also, what is it, like, with Zealantis plus the Trigate Wizard, you're able to get, what, 2 spot removals? Or 3 spot removals? 2 for the Zealantis, 1 for the Trigate Wizard. So, you know, that's a little bit stupid. How many answers should one deck actually be able to try to answer along the way? Well, evidently a lot. This build also plays Change of Heart and Snatch Steal, kind of giving this deck some access points to steal some of these more problematic cards. Especially if your opponent ends on like a Promethean Prince, or excuse me, with an Ambler Whale, and maybe something else, and you're like, okay, well, let's go ahead and activate Snatch Steal / Change of Heart, take that rank 4, or link 4 on over to our field, and, you know, maybe we can slam a Zealantis on top of it. Suddenly, things are looking a little bit more interesting out here. So I like the ideas of what we're seeing here. All right, what else we got back here? Fishies. Okay. Sorry, I had to get that out of my system. I've been watching a lot of the Deep Beyond. I love this deck a lot, but I love hearing I say this every single video, but I love hearing the community go, no, you don't need to play the white cards. The white cards are terrible. But it's like, they help you with so much of your synchro access points. Like, you kind of need to respect the fact that these cards do exist for the deck. I see that we are playing Alvain and Rarefish for the Ready Fusion / Instant Fusion here. I mean, hey, what do you need access to? A level 2 tuner? You need access to a level 4 to make Stealth Kraken. Don't underestimate this card, this format, by the way. We've learned that Stealth Kraken's immediate access points to clear things off the field. I keep saying immediate access points. The ability to control a field, making everything a water, can mess your opponent up pretty good. This deck, I know it also misses the fact, back in the day, you could play Gozen Match with Stealth Kraken and you make your opponent not be able to play the game. Yeah, and then now it's at 1. You sided in on the off chance that you think you're going to need it. Also, this card right here is a reason why this deck is able to win a lot of games. Do not, I repeat, I do not underestimate what happens when you are able to just go second with this deck. Your opponent sets up this field, you slam down evenly, and you're able to break apart these huge fields. These decks that are making these huge commitments right now are just having terrible times with evenly, and I know a lot of the format has not had a chance to realize this yet. But once we start to see more of evenly kind of show up, I think a lot more people are going to be surprised at just how good this card can actually be for controlling the game. And we also have, this is Snake Eyes with an actual Horus package in here. You have not seen a single soul out here trying out the idea of, well, I mean, how many more engines can you toss into this deck at this point in time to be able to get things to work? I mean, Horus Hoppy with the King Sarcophagus package, I feel like it doesn't really add much to the equation here, but spot removal off of City, especially if your opponent has to toggle Flamberg off of the field, just puts you into a much more disgusting place. Also, if your hand is awful, what if you open a Jet Synchron, for example? Well, now we can toss that Jet on into the graveyard, and City pull this, and now we also can get an additional draw from the deck. I think they're valuing the draw on this a lot more than people might be interested to admit. And we've learned that this card being able to beam out free level 8s also, Zombie Vampire getting a free mill. Hey, imagine you're playing the mirror match and then you're like, oh, hey, I need a starter out here. We can go mill your opponent. Oh, we found a Snake Eyes Ash. Oh, well, suddenly this is looking a lot more interesting. This little card right here, a free mill deck thin, so you can get resources cleared up, maybe see some beneficial value off of this. Suddenly, things are looking a lot more worthwhile. And then, of course, there's this stupid card. This is the Local Grinder. Please, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. Peace. Patrons! Thank you. Ah!
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.